guys, this is the video lesson for measurement lesson 2. Unfortunately, I don't have a whiteboard here, so I am gonna have the next part of the video be me writing on my iPad and just my voice kind of walking you through the lesson. But watch this video and then get to work on your tracker, and you can come back to this video anytime for a refresher on how to convert measurements. I'm going to talk about a strategy in this video called horse to fly. So I'll talk through that, and then there's another video underneath of this one in Schoology that walks you through the horse to fly method again, so you can always watch that too if you need a little bit of extra help or reminders about how to convert measurement. All right, let's get started. All right, so this is our measurement conversion sheet. You can see it has all different kinds of measurements on it that we're going to use to help us convert in our measurement lesson 2. At the top, we have our length measurements. So those are the things we use to measure how long something is or how far something is away from us. They measure distance. I can measure a desk, and I could measure, how far I ran. I know some of you on Girls on the Run ran 5Ks and different things like that. So we have all different kinds of measurement units that we're going to get back to in just a second, but I wanted to go through some of the common ones that you'll see. So here we have our common units, okay? And there's a picture to show you kind of what each one is. So at the top, we have our yards, feet, and inches. Those are our units of length. They measure how long something is. There's 12 inches in a foot, and then there's 3 feet in a yard. And that's measuring, again, that length. Next, we have our units of capacity, okay? So the things underneath are units of capacity. They measure liquid. So you can go to the store, you can buy some milk, you can buy soda. Ice cream also counts for those measurements of capacity. So we're just finishing up with the measurements of length. Measurements of capacity, there we go. So we have our tablespoon, we have our cup, our pint, our quart, and our gallon. So there are different amounts in each thing. So capacity measures liquid. There's also liquid ounces that you'll see on the chart when we go back to our conversion chart. So we have our cups, our pints, our quarts, our gallons, all things you're buying your liquid in at the store. And there's 4 quarts in a gallon, there's 2 pints in a quart, there's 2 cups in a pint, but that will all be listed on your conversion sheet. Next, we have mass. So mass has to do with weight, how much something weighs. We measure things typically in pounds and ounces. Pounds are heavier than ounces. Those cubes are just there to represent how much heavier a pound is than an ounce. So you might weigh produce at the store. You might weigh your baby brother at the doctor's office. You might weigh yourself. But mass is the measurements having to do with weight. So let's hop back on over to our conversion sheet so that we can kind of dive in a little bit here. On our conversion sheet at the top, we have those measurements of length like we talked about. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. You'll see that we have the metric and customary units of length. They are because everywhere else in the world, pretty much besides the United States, uses the metric system. But here in the United States, we do use the customary system. We'll expose ourselves to both during this lesson. So over to our customary units of measurement, measuring length. We have that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. 1 mile is also equal to 5,280 feet. 1 yard equals 3 feet. And 1 foot equals 12 inches. So again, those are measuring how long something is. We jump down to capacity and volume, with capacity and volume, we have the metric and the customary again. Metric we do see at the store. So for metric and capacity, measuring those liquids, we have that 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So you can buy a 1 liter bottle of soda. You can also buy a 2 liter. Those are the big bottles of soda at the store. So when we're talking about liters. And then we have our gallons, like a gallon of milk. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 quart equals 2 pints. 1 pint equals 2 cups. And 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. So those are the liquid ounces that we're talking about. If you're measuring water or milk or something and you're baking and you're putting a liquid in, those are those fluid ounces. Then we jump down to mass and weight. So again, we have our metric mass units. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. And then we have customary. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. And 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Finally, we have time, which we'll get to a little more in our time unit. Those are all the time conversions. We're not going to convert quite as much between time measurements as we are mass and weight, capacity, and length. You can use this conversion chart during your work through this lesson. All right, let's get into converting measurements using our chart. So here I have one of our school desks. And I want to measure the length of this desk. So from one side to the other, I want to find out how long it is. You can see there I'm drawing the length of the desk from one side to the other. So let's say I measure that the length of the desk is 24 inches long. But I want to know how many feet that is. So I'm going to convert those 24 inches into feet. This is what we're doing when we're talking about measurement conversions. We're finding one measurement and converting it to another. So let's take out our handy dandy chart and find we're measuring length, so it'll be under there. 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I'm going to go on back to my desk. All right, I have 24 inches and I just saw on my chart that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I'm going to use that number 12 to help me figure out how many feet 24 inches is equal to. That's what I need to know. If 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, how many feet is equal to 24 inches? All right, we're going to do a little rhyme that's going to help us out. It's called horse to fly, multiply, fly to horse, divide of course. So anytime we're converting measurements, I want you to think about that question. Is feet bigger than inches, or is inches bigger than feet? Which one is the horse? Okay, now I know that feet are bigger than inches, so it becomes our horse. Feet is the horse, and inches is the fly. So what I found out in my problem is that I know my inches, okay? I know the 24 inches. That's what I've measured for. So I know my fly. So I'm going from fly, what I know, to horse, what I don't know. Fly to horse, divide of course. Horse to fly, multiply. Again, I'm going fly to horse, divide of course. So I'm going to take that 24 inches and I'm going to divide it by 12 inches because in 1 foot there's 12 inches. So this will tell me how many feet make up 24 inches. Fly to horse, divide of course. So I'm going to do 24 divided by 12, which equals 2. So my desk is 24 inches long. It's 2 feet long. That's how many feet long because 2 feet equals 24 inches. So that's the little rhyme that we're going to use every time we convert measurements. Horse to fly, multiply, fly to horse, divide of course. I want you to remember that. All right, let's try another conversion. So here we're dealing with capacity conversions. I have gallons of milk and I have a quart of milk. So I can see with this picture that those 3 gallons are my horse. The fly is my quart. So I want to know if I have 3 gallons, how many quarts make up 3 gallons? So let's pull up our conversion chart. I'm in capacity now because I'm measuring liquid, and I can see that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So that's the information I need, and I'm going to bring back to my workspace. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So we think to ourselves, what is bigger, gallon or quarts? With these nice pictures, I can see that a gallon of milk is far bigger than a quart. So I know my horse, I'm going to my fly. Horse to fly, I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to use the 4 quarts that are in 1 gallon to figure out how many quarts are in 3 gallons. Horse to fly, multiply. The math I'm going to do then is 3 times 4 to get how many quarts are in 3 gallons. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. In 3 gallons, there are 12 quarts. Horse to fly, I multiply. So 3 gallons is equal to 12 quarts. We're going to continue to use this method throughout our conversions.